I grew up in a city called Chichiga, and I used to wake up really early, do some house chores and stuff like that. Then I would go to school, and then in the afternoon when we come back home, used to be a lot of family time. It was kind of very vibrant, a very nice environment to grow. There's one organization that used to put up kind of on a wall on who was going and what day. So one of my family members occasionally used to go there and check, if we were posted on the wall. And so she went there one day and she came home running and screaming and happy. And she's like, "We are leaving in 9 days." I was in 8th grade. I was taking, we're supposed to leave on Monday, and I had my final exams on Wednesday. So I was more worried about my exams than I did about leaving. I was like, I have to pass this exam. And the whole time, my family and people were going and shopping and getting ready, I was studying for my exam. I wanted to make sure that I got my education and I got, take my test and pass it. So we landed at 7 a.m. in New York. We didn't even get to Minneapolis until like midnight that day. So it was really long. And a family member said, "Oh, it's really hot today. It's 100 degrees outside." And I was like, "It can't be 100 degrees. We would be cooking." So she turned on the TV and she's like, "See the TV?" And I'm like, "Your TV is probably lying." And her husband was sitting there just laughing. So I did not know English. I knew very limited, maybe few words. Biggest challenge was really knowing what the opportunities are. So what are the opportunities there? How do I learn enough English so that I can go to college? Even finding out there's something called the ACT that I needed to study for. And you're in this completely new environment. Your parents never went through. Your family members have no idea. And then all of a sudden you kind of have to figure out how you're going to succeed and how you're going to do all these requirements. When I was going to high school, I had a teacher called Dr. Claire Hippolyte. And then one day she came to me, she's like, "Hey, I'm starting this club, after school club called Invention Club. You can come and invent whatever you want." And then I was, as I was thinking through, I read an article about women in remote areas that get infected by HIV, and they don't, they might not necessarily have access to devices that can, tell them that, you have an HIV, or anything like that. And so I wanted to make something. And so I told her I want to invent an HIV testing device. She's like, "Cool, how are you going to do that?" And I was like, "I don't know, let me Google some stuff." So I kind of started looking into it and trying to design, and she took me to different labs and she showed me how some people were doing research and how they were using those devices and things like that. By the end of it, I was like, who makes these things? I want to do this. So she introduced me to the world of medical device industry, and I got my bachelor's in mechanical engineering and then my master's also in mechanical engineering. And my first job out of college was actually the company she told me. So I sent her an email. I was like, "Guess what? I become an engineer and this is where I work." I applied to a lot of scholarships. I mean, I think I applied to over 10 or 12 scholarships, and I ended up getting about 7 of them. There's a lot of opportunities. I mean, really, I couldn't have asked for a better place to be in the world. My first lesson is be comfortable with who you are and your identity and your own skin, because when you're in an environment and you're very different from everybody else, sometimes it can be a little bit intimidating. And sometimes, you're like, "Oh my God, these people have been, prepared for this since they were kids. I'm here, I'm trying to learn that language, I'm trying to do all these different things." And sometimes you feel kind of out of place. Everybody has a challenge, even people who were born here, the people that just came, the ones that been here for generations, and everybody has their own personal challenges and struggles they're going through. So just keeping that in mind, that you're not the only one, is struggling or going through some stuff. So professionally, I work in the medical device industry and I work as a PD engineer. My contribution is trying to get new technologies and new devices that can help people into the market. In terms of my community, I go to schools, I talk to young girls, I mentor, and just showing them the opportunities and just showing that, you can still be who you are and, have all the different aspects of your identity and still have a career and succeed. And so just sharing my experiences. Those are the very small kind of contributions, but I do plan to contribute a lot more than I have so far. So.